Previously on New Crits on the Block.
As I was saying, I've spent some time studying this tome, and I can confidently say it is unreadable. It's too bad there doesn't exist some sort of ancient relic that's rumored to assist its user in the comprehension of uncomprehendable things, known as the Eye of Qatar. The Circle of the Flame is a refined secret society of antiquarians and scholars. However, this gentleman's club is a cover for extortion, graft, vice, and murder, known as the Cerulean Club. And there's a bouncer up front, and he moves the little velvet rope aside, and he allows you guys inside. And we're back. And my voice cracked.
it was very, the attack on it was high.
Yeah.
Did that hurt?
Back,
That
it just exploded.
Yeah, it sounded like it hurt.
He's really.
Got
He's
ya.
not doing good.
Have a sip
As I
of
told
water.
you guys last week, which for us was like an hour ago, I have a cold right now. So I think I have a little bit. I think certain pitches I can't do. And apparently I can't say, and we're back with a lot of...
Yeah, that's why my voice cracks too for the last 39 years.
It wouldn't be bravado, right?
that's what I said, but you can't tell because my voice cracked.
I've had a 39-year
Bravado.
cold.
I believe
Gravitas,
it.
maybe?
9-year.
So when we last left off, you guys had finally made it into the Cerulean Club, which is a gentleman's club that you were trying to gain membership into. You rolled pretty good on your engagement, so you got a little bit of backlash from the bouncer, but you managed to get inside with very little. You didn't have to use any stress. Nobody got kicked out. Yeah, you just annoyed the bouncer slightly, which something tells me that bouncers are probably annoyed with pretty much everyone they deal with all the time. So this isn't. I only marked
Arlo
you.
can confirm.
Yeah, I only marked you one little annoyment point on Matt's clock.
That's literally how Arlo got introduced. Was some annoying dude.
Yeah. I assume that every bouncer ever is just fucking exhausted.
Yeah.
And if anyone out there is a bouncer in real life, feel free to comment in Discord whether or not that's true. I assume it is. Yeah. You're not a bouncer.
Sure I am.
Of what?
Why is it called a
bounce hella
bouncer?
people because they bounce people out. They bounce them off the fucking pavement. That's why.
I thought you were going to say something about a bouncy ball, honestly.
Yeah, because we fucking take a bouncy ball and throw it at their faces.
Yeah.
When you throw
Yeah.
them out,
Bouncer.
is it because they bounce when they hit the ground?
That's what I just fucking said.
Do all bouncers sound like that, or do they have other voices?
The good ones.
Mainly, yeah, the good ones.
The good ones.
They sound like
And no,
cakewalks?
anywhere.
Anywhere.
No, if you go to Nashville and your bouncer doesn't fucking sound like this, then he's a pushover. Just walk right past him. He's not gonna do nothing.
Okay, good to know.
The only bouncer who you don't want to mess with who doesn't sound like that is Roadhouse.
Oh,
Dalton. Is it Dalton Walcox? Is that his last name?
I was gonna say any
Wilcox?
character that Liam Neeson plays.
I'm not afraid of him. His voice isn't scary to me.
Liam Neeson?
That's
Yeah.
like he.
It's
like
not your
'cause
voice you're scared of.
What did you call him?
He has a particular set. Liam Neeson?
Last name again, please.
Neeson?
Neeson?
Neeson.
Neeson? What?
Neeson?
Oh,
Have some.
oh, have some. Need some? Have some.
Yes, have some.
Jake, I think I said it the same way.
Yeah.
So
Son.
Oh, you too.
Neeson.
Son?
Neeson.
Some.
I think I said Neeson as well. Yeah. I just say things quick and then nobody notices sometimes.
That's not true at all. We notice every single time.
Every
I said
time we do.
sometimes.
We always at least make a face.
Yeah. Has anyone seen Ted 2
Yes.
when he shows up and buys
Yeah.
the Fruit Loops?
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh,
think I've
no.
watched-
Tricks. Sorry. Tricks. You best
I think
Tricks.
Orville's the only thing I haven't watched of Seth MacFarlane's.
Orville's good.
Oh,
Oh, you should
it was
watch
so
it.
good. R.I.P. Man.
It's one of my favorite Star Trek properties.
Yeah, truly, it was really good.
It's
Yeah,
so
basically, the Orville is just Star Trek, but it's comedy, and it's like still very insightful at times.
good. Yeah, they have really good episodes. You guys would love it. Zoe would love it.
It's on. I would say it's on par with like the level of humor and how it gets a point across with like South Park, where you're like, this is ridiculous,
Is it anything like
but
the
you
animated,
are bringing up a
one?
very important thing.
the lower deck one?
Yeah, but a little more punchy.
A little more punchy.
They have some pretty heavy episodes.
Oh, heavy episodes. Okay.
Yeah. It's good. It's really good.
We'll give it a try. What
Yeah,
do you even
it's-
watch that on?
The first season is incredible. Hulu, maybe?
I'll Google
Amazon?
it.
Yes.
I'll Google.
I can't
I
don't
was
know where
back
it
when I
was
was watching it
Hulu.
originally. It was on TV, but then I dumped cable.
Well, yeah, it was on
I think
Fox.
it's on Hulu.
Who owns cable?
I mean, I can't speak to the most recent seasons, but as Christy said, I mean, I watched the first season and it was great.
Yeah.
Oh, you should
They're
watch
all-
the
they were
rest.
all
They're
great.
they're all really
great.
good. They
I mean, I'm
unfortunately
sure it
got
is.
canceled,
Seth
which
MacFarlane, I
sucks.
just don't. It's pretty
You
rare
can
he
watch
makes
it
anything
on
that's not.
Hulu, Disney Plus.
It's on Disney Plus.
Well, because they're all one thing
Yeah.
now. So
They are.
they have Disney bought or Hulu and Disney merged. So now basically anything on Hulu is available on Disney Plus, which makes a ton of people really mad because they're like, I don't want horror movies coming up on Disney Plus when my kid's watching it. But
Well, that's why you make the kids account. See, I never accessed
I
the
know.
adult account, so I don't.
it's also
I
on
only-
Amazon and Apple, but you have to pay for it on there. So if you have a Hulu subscription or Disney, you should just go that route.
Okay, I'll look into my adult account and see. That sounds
into my
bad.
adult
Out of
account.
context.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can we
I'll
just
look into
clip
my
that?
Disney.
Just that.
Hold on. Let me make it worse. I'll look into my adult Disney account. Nope, not better.
Yo.
And see what's available there. Yeah, because I haven't.
Finished it?
I haven't. No, I haven't, because I basically that show came out when my daughter turned like my oldest now turned like 1. So basically, she started walking, and then I haven't caught up with anything since, because I spend my life chasing my children around and keeping them from dying, which is a full-time job. Which is why I was 30 minutes late today to record. Speaking of which, you're inside. So you guys enter into I never know how to say this word. Is it a foyer?
Yep. You
Well,
got it.
there's actually multiple ways, but that is one of them. Yes,
Yes,
Wait,
but it's
there's
spelled
more-
foyer, right?
correct.
There's
yeah.
more than one way to say it.
Foyer is acceptable,
I hate
and
language.
foyer is acceptable as well.
So
Either
stupid.
it depends. Either one works.
Well, you enter a foyer.
Oh.
it sounds
So it's
fancy.
very nice.
Ooh,
Yes.
Fancy.
Yeah, that's the deal. A foyer has to have a chandelier.
Mm.
Has to.
Mhm.
A foyer just has a big stairwell.
Mm.
Anyway, that's how I'm deciding this works. Well, this one has both. So you
Oh,
guys walk into
shit.
this club, and there is a large stairwell leading upstairs that seems to branch into different rooms. It looks like you're inside a mansion, but from the outside, it didn't appear to be so. Maybe this is an old mansion that got built over. You kind of went down a little bit before you went in, so maybe you're like kind of underground a little bit. One of the things that we didn't really talk about with Duskfall too much, because as Christy mentioned last episode, lore dump can be exhausting. Duskfall is a city. It was an old coal mining facility, like city. That's what's originally it was like 1,000 years ago. And so it has been renovated many times over the last 1,000 years. And they just keep building on top of it. Kind of like how Venice is, where it's just like, as things sink and go underground, they just kind of build up on top of it. And that's kind of how it is. So oftentimes when you go like under a building, there's another building down there. So you're never really, you don't just like look around and go, well, that's a building, that's a building, and that's a building, and that's all I see. It's like, no. As you start to go down, and it's hilly and stuff. So as you go in and down and turn right and left, you might be in a complete underground facility that has multiple houses in there that you didn't even know were there because it's under a hill or under a cobblestone road. So yeah, you find yourself inside what appears to be like a nice mansion-like building located in Six Towers that doesn't look like much from the outside. And you're standing on like this nice, everything is lit by candlelight. There's not a lot of electroplasm in here. Usually fancy people have like fancy electroplasm devices, but these guys are almost kind of like regal, where there's like the old fashioned candle lit hallways and oil lamps and stuff. And everything is well dusted and clean. There's like nice wood in here. You guys are not used to seeing that. Trees don't really exist anymore. So this is, this wood is probably thousands of years old, but it's been well maintained and oiled and polished. And you find yourself standing in here, and Styx looks at you all and says, "Give me a moment. I will notify the appropriate people that you've arrived." And he leans in and says, "Don't go anywhere, do anything, or touch anything yet. We wouldn't want anyone suspicious." And he turns down a hallway and kind of turns a corner and sort of vanishes.
Oh, those owl hallways.
Yeah, I don't have like a map or anything. It's a big building and there's like different places you can go, but he told you to kind of stay put.
Who are we looking for again?
Not who, but what?
Not who, yes.
Well, I know.
Not who, but what?
What he said.
Sorry, I was a little late.
We're looking for the Eye of Qatar. Somewhere.
I know, but didn't he say that somebody had it? Or it's just in this place.
Oh, I think
I didn't really go into detail during the talk. He would have told you that like it's locked up somewhere.
I think first
wherever
we
they
need to
keep
get
their
our
nice shit.
Locked
initiation. We need to be initiated first, and then maybe we can explore around.
Yeah, I'm not going
Right?
anywhere. I'll listen.
By the way, I didn't ask, how do you guys look? You got your fake names. And Arlo, you said you now wearing nice clothes and have slick back hair, right?
Yeah.
Are you just kind of sticking with that? Slick back?
I would say, I don't even know what kind of clothes, like, I mean.
Nice clothes and a slick back hair. Nice clothes and a slick back hair. I don't know how many people are going to get that, but.
I don't.
I think a few people might.
Okay.
What is
I don't
that?
get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he would have like just like a nice tunic and like slacks, and I wouldn't say like dress shoes or anything like that, but like nice boots.
Yeah,
and
pretty rare to see someone with dress shoes and dust.
Yeah, and then
nice boots,
and then probably like military like strapping for like all my gear, for like my and like sword and whatnot. I don't know what I have yet, so I don't want to like.
I get it. Yeah, I got it. I got what you're going with there. You kind of have a refined like my gear is less of a. I don't carry a buck knife on my hip because I'm ready for a fight. I do it because I am a regal warrior of great renown. That kind of thing. Got it. Rufus, what about you? You said you were going in light. How do you look?
I would. I feel like, I don't know. I've never really thought about my appearance to begin with, but I feel like I would have long hair because I'm like a survivalist. So like beard, long hair. So long hair be pulled back into like a nice like bun, like ponytail looking thing, and then like the face would get all trimmed up, looking dapper.
Christy got excited when you said man bun.
You said a nice bun. I thought that was cute.
Yeah, and looking sort of like white linen looking like suit type thing.
Okay.
Ooh.
Are you wearing all white? Are you like
No, not all white.
Colonel?
No, just looking like, I'm in my comfies, for this nice occasion,
Okay. Yeah. I don't need you to tell me like the pleat of pants you have or anything,
Right.
but got it. All right. Lila or
The scene in the first Matrix movie where they walk into the first warehouse and they're basically in head to toe tight leather
Yeah, the scene
That-
that's made fun of in the MTV. Yeah.
That is how Zinc is walking up to this party.
Does he have the tiny glasses?
Tiny glasses, full on tight leather fit, and a leather top hat.
Oh,
And it's shiny
Yeah.
leather.
Oh, shining like
Patent for
are there
sure.
stars in the
Latex?
sky?
No.
Yes.
no. There are stars. Yeah. There are stars
Oh, yeah,
in the
it's
sky.
more-
There's
yeah,
also
more
stars
latex.
in the ocean, by the way.
More
which is
latex
weird.
than leather. More
Patent
latex than
leather.
leather for sure.
What I'll say is that all
And
the
every
leather
time
nowadays.
okay, hold on. I will say this.
Wait, oh no.
I will say this as just for flavor fun,
Okay.
but then it immediately changes. With every step, you hear wait of the tight leather,
course.
but that doesn't affect my stealth score, so that doesn't go any further than just for fun. Then
Yeah,
just
just
for
for
fun
color.
right now.
it will only affect your stealth score if you roll bad, and then I will say that's what happens.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I like that.
I'm certainly not going to use it against you just because. No, I told you I never want to.
And then when I
never want to
really-
punish anyone.
When I
For
really am
role-playing.
hustling, it's like
Well, all leather nowadays, almost all leather is made from eel skin.
well, and
so
red
like
leather, yellow leather,
He can't do it.
eel
Do it,
skin.
Uh-huh.
And so so I mean, like I can see why it has that like shine to it. And Lila, you're not a unaccustomed to dressing up fancy. So what do you?
No,
you
I've
probably
got
have all kinds of dresses.
A blonde wig and a big boob dress. A blonde wig and a big boob dress. That's
What
I
is going
mean.
on?
I'm not sure.
Wait, are you saying a
ask
big
your-
blue dress or are you saying a big boob dress?
Big blue dress.
I hear
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
I heard both.
I heard-
I think your
Yeah,
mic
thank
is
you.
being weird.
Okay,
I
that's fine
think-
too. Whatever you want it to be.
Thank you.
I
It's
actually
blue
heard
and big boob.
I heard big boob dress. Yeah.
Of course you would.
No, I think your mic
Anyway.
was being weird. All right. So very good. And you are all standing there kind of looking at each other. And you suddenly realize as you're all together, like looking at each other, that you all look
We don't match at all.
fucking ridiculous to one another.
What?
What?
To one
I look
another.
good.
Because you're used to seeing each other slitting throats in back alleys. You know what I mean? So
I've never
maybe-
slit a throat in my life.
No, you just stuff them. So
Ew.
Well, if they pay for it.
Ew.
so yeah, no.
That's my sister.
You started this earlier.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so maybe Lila kind of looks somewhat normal to her usual self, although the blonde wig is weird.
Yes.
She otherwise, the rest of you do look different than normal. And as you are doing this, suddenly 4 servants, people in like nice butler-esque clothes, 3 of them male, 1 of them a female with like a, I don't want to say like a maid outfit. I'm trying to think of but like a dress, a servant's dress. They arrive and they greet you all. Yes, we have been informed to take you to your individual interviews. So Bobby Boucher, one of them says, if you'll please come with me.
Present.
And they go through all the other names too, but I want to say them because they're all ridiculous. And Mark Wahlberg, another announces.
Yes, that's me.
Very good. Please come with me. Stephanie Blue.
Yes.
Excellent. If you'll please come with me. And I think one of your things closed? Did I close one of you? Why am I missing a name? Bobby
Me?
Boucher. Oh, and sorry, I took me a minute to read this because it's ridiculous. Wilbur Expose.
Yeah, that's me.
Excellent. If you'll please come with us. And they all
Expose.
split down different hallways and go different directions.
Okay. So that
Do you
we
all follow your individual people?
Yeah, we got to have the ruse going now.
Yeah, it'd be really weird for you to be like, just kidding, guns a-blazing.
Yeah,
Execute
totally
the
switch it up.
servants. So yes, you all go to your respective locations. I guess I'll just start with. We can start with Lila. So Lila, you find yourself. I'm going to refer to you by your proper name, just because I'm going to get confused otherwise. But when people talk to you, they use your other name. Lila, you follow your servant. This is the female servant who has been that you were assigned to. And she takes you to a room and she opens a door and she gestures inside. And inside you see I would describe it as a luxurious room that it has, windows, although they don't seem to look anywhere. Because like I said, you're probably like underground. But there is beautiful curtains, velvet or silk, whatever the fuck clothes they're able to make out of cloth they're able to make in this world, lining them. And there are well padded, comfortable chairs, and there's a table in the middle, and around it is a beautiful wooden velvet lined seating chair that wraps around it almost like a half moon, like a crescent moon wrapping around it. And in the middle there is fancy cutlery and tea set. I said that weird, just deal with it. And she gestures for you to have a seat, and she says, the mistress will be with you shortly. Please make yourself comfortable.
Yes, thank you. I will. And I'll go sit down next to the cutlery.
Cutlery.
I think I said it properly. Anyway.
There was a L in there somewhere. It just wasn't the right spot.
Cutlery.
I just added multiple L's and one of them had to be right. And after a short period of time, another door opens. But the person who walks through is not the one who opened the door. Another servant is there to open the door for them. And you see a woman who you don't recognize her, but you recognize there is something very recognizable about her. And that is that she is Aruvian in background, just like you.
Okay.
And she has amber skin, but long black hair. Aruvians tend to have darker hair tones. And as she walks inside, she greets you and she says, yes, I am here to meet Stephanie.
Yes, that's me.
Oh, wonderful. Hello, Stephanie. It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Elsteria. I'm saying that for the first time out loud. I should have practiced this last night.
Charmed.
As well. And maybe you're sitting, maybe you're not, but she says, please have a seat. And
I'm sitting already, but thank you.
Then don't. You're already sitting. Excellent.
Okay.
We're so very polite and kind to one another here.
Of course.
And she sits down, and as she goes to sit down, the servant just kind of follows her in and stands next to her and like positions the pillows for her as she sits. And then like she just holds up her hands, which are gloved, and the servant like takes the gloves off her hands for her. And she places them down at the table. And she puts one hand out, and the servant places a teacup in it and proceeds to pour tea for her. And she says to you, would you like some tea?
Yes, I would. Thank you.
And the servant then comes over and stares at you for a while with the teacup, and
I put my hand out.
And she places the teacup in your hand and pour some tea for you. And it's from the same teapot. This doesn't seem suspicious or anything. And you see the lady who you're speaking to start drinking the tea. Anytime in a fucking role-playing game, you give someone food, you're like, and it's not weird. There's food. Nobody poisoned it.
I wasn't concerned.
Yeah, but I know. But like anytime you're like, hi, this lady cooks you a meal, and then you're like, I cast detect poison. Like, it's just bread.
You never know, dude.
And you sit there and you both sip the tea quietly for a moment. And this is like pinky out, fancy garb. The tea is quite nice. Maybe you've had tea of this type before. Would you? I would say the tea is Ruvian in nature, and you are originally from
Well, I'm not trying to let on that I am because I have a disguise on, so.
Right, but you do have the skin tone.
Sure.
Yeah, so, she
But I
she
have
does,
lots of makeup on, so.
All right. Well, then tell me this. What do you I know you guys rolled your engagement roll to tell me how good your deception was, but give me a roll to see how well
I have a fine disguise kit.
how well your disguise kit. Okay, well then I'll give you a great effect or an extra die, whichever one you want,
Okay.
in order to pull off your disguise from her. So what do you
So-
use in order to make her not realize who you are?
I mean, I would use sway, obviously. It's a disguise.
Yeah.
It's in the description.
It literally says disguise. Okay, so give me a sway roll, and if you check off your fine disguise kit, then I will give you an extra die
Okay.
or an advanced effect or whatever you want.
I'll take another die, I guess.
Okay, so go ahead and roll sway and add a die to it. I'm going to say that this is it's a controlled roll with standard effect.
Okay. Oof. I got a
I actually
3, a
can't
4,
see
a
what-
2, and a 1.
Actually, can't see what you rolled. Oh, there we go.
Good.
Well, you got a 4, so that is success with a consequence. So, yeah, that was not a great roll, but it could have been worse. And so the lady says, "There's something about you. Are you a Ruvian, or maybe your
me?
parents were a Ruvian?"
I mean, I think maybe I have a grandparent somewhere down the line, but no, not that I am aware of.
Oh, so where are you from?
Where am I from?
Where are you from? Yes.
Me? My name?
One of the other places, obviously, that are well known.
To this place?
That I don't remember because it's not on my sheet and I don't know them.
I mean, you could say you're like originally born in Duskfall. You could say you
Yeah.
were born in Aruvia. You don't have to. You don't have to lie. I mean, it's
But it's so much fun.
But
do whatever you want to.
Just Duskfall around,
Oh, you were born in Duskfall.
Certainly.
So many
Were you
people
not?
have. No. I actually am originally from Aruvia. In fact, I am the Aruvian diplomat to Duskfall. I suppose if you're not within the upper circles of political society, you might not know that.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. No, I did not. That must be quite a lovely position to have.
Well, politics, this is a little bit topical currently. Politics is not something I like to discuss too much, especially with people I don't know yet. But it does.
I just mean, look at this room and everything you have. It's lovely.
Oh, it does have its perks.
Hmm.
So what do you do for work, Miss Blue? How do you make coin?
A little of this, a little of that, as us girls do. I'm sure you know. Wink. She says wink.
I don't. I'm not entirely sure. For example, I handle correspondence between between Duskfall and my home state of Aruvia, and so I am compensated from not only my Ruvian contacts, but also from my Duskfallian contacts. That's how I make my coin. But I don't know what you mean when you wink.
Well, I just kind of find odd jobs around. I'll, some clerical work here and there, assistant jobs, delivering things, giving messages, things like that of that nature. I'm looking for something here, actually. That's why I'm here today. Hoping to make a name for myself with your association.
When you said like I take like assistant jobs, you see like her smile kind of twitches a little bit. Of course. Well, I'm looking forward to getting to know you. How's your tea? It's Eruvian in nature.
Oh, it's lovely. It's got a spice I can't quite name.
Do you actually recognize it?
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, this would be like if you went to a country and you drank like the thing they drink there, and they were like, yeah, this is it's like me with like Indian tea. I'm like, I know exactly how this tastes. I drink it all the time. Well, that's the only thing I know. I wouldn't go anywhere. I couldn't do anything else. You could take me to any other country and I'd be like, what the fuck is this?
Indian tea, you know.
Yeah, I drink a lot of it.
Indian tea expert, some would say.
It's really just British, but whatever.
Burn.
And at this point, she says, well, and she leans in, smiles, and how do you know your associates? And then we'll cut away to the next person. So we now see Arlo. Arlo is now following his person down a hallway where he is, as he's walking, another man walks up in the hallway and greets him in the hallway. And the man sticks his hand out and sticks his hand out for a firm looking handshake.
To me?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I go and I give him a firm ass handshake.
And the man says, Harville Brogan, nice to meet you.
No, wait. Say. How do you say that name?
Harville Brogan.
Harville Brogan.
I'm looking here on my sheet. It says he's supposed to be quiet. Well, we're just going to change that. I'm going to say direct.
He's quietly direct. And he remembers carefully.
His name is Brogan. I'm like, sorry, your name's Bro. You're going to be like, how you doing? He sticks his hand out. He says, Harville Brogan, it's a pleasure to meet you. And you are?
As I'm shaking his hand and gripping it really tight, Mark Wahlberg.
Yes, of course, Mr. Wahlberg. God damn it.
That's right.
Yeah. And so as he gestures down the hall and he says, please come with me. I'll take you to our meeting room. So tell me, where are you from?
Greetings, everyone. It is I, your favorite player, Matt, and welcome to this week's Middle Break. Thank you so much for listening to this episode so far. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying it. If you are, there's a few things you can do to help our podcast continue to make this high-quality content you are listening to. First, make sure to subscribe to our podcast wherever you get our podcast from. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever podcatcher you're using. Obviously, that's where we are. So go to that podcatcher, hit the subscribe button, download our episodes, leave a 5-star review, and write a little synopsis about why you like our podcast so other people who come across it will see it and think that they will enjoy it too. Also, make sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms. You can find us on Twitter at New Crits and on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at New Crits on the Block. We're always posting content to those sites. It's your best way to stay up on all things New Crits. And the best way to help us, share those pieces of content to your own platforms, put them on your stories, put them on your feeds, tag people you think might be interested in them as well. We're only growing through word of mouth right now. So I know it sounds like a really small thing, but I promise you it really does go a long way. One of the ways that we like to give back to our community is we have a Discord. Yes, it is a Discord for all things New Crits, but not all things New Crits. You can come in there and talk to the cast members, talk to fans, talk about the show. But if you just want to come and relax somewhere and hang out, you can do that too. It's a safe, inclusive space that we have cultivated over the last few years. We're really happy with what it has turned into. We love our family on there. So if you haven't joined us, what the heck are you waiting for? Now you might be thinking, well, Matt, I want to help you do all these things, but how do I get to all the places that you just mentioned? Well, from our link tree, of course, linktr.ee/NewCritsOnTheBlock will get you to all the places that I just mentioned. And some places I didn't have time to mention, linktr.ee/NewCritsOnTheBlock. It is your central hub for all things New Crits. All right, everyone, let's get you back into this week's episode. Thank you so much for listening. As you know, we come out with new episodes every single Monday. That ain't stopping anytime soon. So until then, let's get you back into this episode. Enjoy the rest of it. We will see you next week. Until then, be safe out there. Be excellent to each other. We love you all. Bye-bye.
from Scoville.
Ah, yes. Skovall, beautiful country. I used to travel there when I was younger. I haven't been in a long time, ever since the uprising. And what brought you to Duskval? When did you find yourself here? Have you been here long?
I'm not actually. Now I got to think. Have I been here long? I think I'd be. Arlo would have been here for how long was the rebellion?
Oh fuck, I don't know.
Say because he's I think he said he was like 19.
Yeah, so it was probably like
when I was like 10,
6
so we'll say like
years
9.
ago or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, you were probably fighting in the pit as like a 13-year-old because they were shitty slavers. So what the fuck did they care? You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, like it's been long enough, you know.
Yeah,
it wasn't last year. Yeah.
Actually, the rebellion's why I came here.
Yes. Well, we've seen a lot of refugees come on through, and as well as people with business ventures, diplomats, historians, antiquarians. Yes, of course. So the blending of cultures, a melting pot of sorts. Duskval is the place to be. So, Mr. Mark Wahlberg, what do you do for coin? And you're still walking down the hall as you're talking.
Yeah, I'd say mainly protection, caravans, things of that nature.
Oh, yes. Well, we definitely need a strong sword arm here and there. But where did you learn to fight?
Well, Scoville, you learned to fight at quite a young age.
Yes. Well, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Our youth are getting weak. I think we could learn a lot from the way Scoville handled things until, of course, the unfortunateness of everything that happened.
It was only unfortunate they stepped out of line.
Yes. Jake, what action do you use to convince this man that sounds like you're acting like you're not
a slave?
Not a slave.
Yeah.
And it sounds like he is thinking that he's probably not a big fan of the rebellion as the usual I'm a rich guy and I don't like it when poor people rise up behaviors.
Yeah.
What do you use?
I would say command.
Okay.
So I'm trying to just like, Arlo is not like slick when it comes to like social interactions. So he's trying to do his best to just like intimidate, brute force through his conversation.
You know, it says command obedience with your force of personality. So yeah, I'll give you that, you know, and also I don't just want to be like, sorry, you don't have sway, so you suck. So I'll give you that. I forced you into a social encounter where none of you have social abilities. I'm going to go ahead and say though, it's a risky role.
Okay.
Because there's something, you know, this guy, you're not really great at this. You're using not quite the right skill, but I'm going to say it has standard effect. So give me.
Could I? I'm going to push myself.
Sure.
Just take the 2 strats just because I want to pass this.
Yeah.
So you said risky,
Uh-huh.
standard, and then add 1 bonus dice for pushing myself. God, I rolled a 4, a 1, and a 2.
Okay. So
the 4 is good.
You got
Thank God.
Basically the same thing that Lila did. You got a mixed success. So by the way, I meant to say, Lila, with your RP that you did and your mixed success on your clocks, I'm going to go ahead and mark off. You got 2 positive, but 1 negative.
Oh.
So it's still a net gain, but like, you know, you had said that like, oh, I'm looking for work and, you know, assisting and stuff. And at the same time, though, you know, you also put on a good show. You know how to do this kind of stuff. Arlo, same deal. I'm going to go ahead and give you 2 positive and 1 negative. As Harville Brogan is speaking to you, he glances directly at the side of your neck where your where your brand is, because unfortunately your people were branded. And you probably had the wherewithal to cover that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the fact that it's covered up is also kind of suspicious. Like, people don't just usually, it's like when you see your friend who's like just all of a sudden is wearing a turtleneck in summer and you're just like, what'd you do last night? And they're, oh, nothing. I'm just cold. Uh-huh. What's his name? You know what I mean? Like, you just kind of, it's really suspicious, but he kind of brushes it off a little bit and he says, have you ever seen the pit fights in your younger years? Back in Scoville.
Oh, yes. I participated in those a few times. Make enough coin to make my way to Duskull.
You participated in the pit fights between the slaves?
Yes. And he takes off his scarf that's like, or whatever was around his neck. Mm-hmm. And while doing it, he stares this guy down.
I wondered. You must understand, your history for some people might be complicated to deal with.
Controversial.
Yes. However, here we are happy to accept anyone who puts their best foot forward and is able to bring our organization one step closer to its ultimate goal. So please come with me. This will be no issue of all, although I might recommend you keep that on for now. Not everyone would be quite so welcoming. And as he says this, he kind of quickly, closely looks at your hair, and maybe he sees like where you didn't get your roots perfectly. Like, there's a little bit of red in there.
No, they got the perfect fucking.
Oh, you got him perfect. Okay.
Single root.
But he definitely inspects you now, and he starts noticing that you have scars and a brand. And so it's when somebody really looks into you, it's pretty obvious. It's a hard thing to hide.
Yeah.
And he walks down to a room and he opens a door. And as he opens this door, he leads you into a room that is quite different than the one that Lila saw. This room is not beautifully furnished. There are not servants handing you tea. There is not comfy pillows. The room is somewhat dark. It's not dirty, but it's sparsely decorated. But there is one thing that you notice, and you've seen it before. There is a circular chalk ring drawn in the middle of the room. And on a nearby wall, close to where that ring happens to be, there is a blood splatter across the side of the wall. Let's go ahead and move on to the next character. I think we are now with Rufus. So, Rufus, you are taken to a room where the person has you have a seat, and they say, yes, Lady Drake will be with you shortly. Please, make yourself comfortable.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And not a long period of time goes by when all of a sudden a door opens and a woman walks out wearing something that you guys recognize. This person is a magistrate, which is kind of like a judge. It's a little different than a judge, but the end result is in a world where there's not a lot of laws, at least like there's laws, but they're usually against you. There's not so much laws against the people in power. You recognize that this is somebody who decides the fates of people. All intents and purposes, it's a judge. And she's standing there and she says, yes, Mr. Oh, did I call you Rufus, by the way? Sorry, Mr. Boucher.
Yes, that's right. Mr. Boucher. That's right.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
I'm trying to do a Rufus doing a Bobby Boucher impression.
I love it.
No,
Yes.
you're doing good. You're doing good.
It's clear. It's
Keep it up.
fantastic.
Mr. Boucher, it's a pleasure to meet you. Please have a seat.
Yes, the pleasure is all mine. Thank you.
We will get this underway. I'm sure, as you probably know, I'm a busy woman. Bobby, where are you from?
Well, I come from Severos. Yep, that's where I come from. Mm-hmm.
And what brought you to Duskfall?
Business. I'm here at, on what, as my father says, business development.
Oh, and what kind of coin does this business grant you? Like, what is the business? What do you do?
We're in the manufacturing of meat and meat alternatives.
Meat alternatives. I mean, food is so scarce. Not everyone is granted a hearty meal every day. You're lucky to get a hold of a fish that's not as poisonous as the others, or some eel. What kind of meat alternative are you speaking of?
Okay, well, strictly speaking, it's mushrooms, and anything else that we, can fill somebody up. It's not very nutritious, but it'll fill somebody up, and so they have something to eat. But somebody that doesn't want to strictly eat eel all day long.
Well, most people who are poor eat mushrooms already. Are these different than the standard mushrooms that are grown in the rot fields?
Well, we think that everyone should eat mushrooms. I mean, you can make it in such a way that everybody can eat it. I know mostly it's food for the poor, but everybody can eat it.
Oh, you're trying to develop a mushroom that is of high quality for our more discerning clientele.
Yeah, or manufacture it in such a way that it's edible. And we're starting from there and see where it takes us. This is kind of new technology for everybody.
Huh. So you said you're from Severos, correct?
Yes, that's right. I know that typically that wouldn't, somebody from Severos, that kind of manufacturing, not from Severos, but my family, we've been in the capturing and the trading of meat for some time, and it's allowed us to kind of develop a business in this way, and we've done very well for ourselves.
The training of meat is just a hilarious
trading.
It's a whole conversation.
Trading
of meat. I'm hearing training of meat. And I'm
yeah, I heard training of meat too.
I think that's what Lila does.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
Did you bring a Senna with you?
No, I did not.
Okay. That's fine. I'm just curious if you have a dog. By the way, there's a gigantic wolf in this room.
And this is Coach Boyu.
Yeah.
I brought a sample of our meat.
Oh,
Well, I've met a few Severosi before, sentenced quite a few of you, and many other people, of course.
I'm sure they deserved it. I'm sure.
I'm positive they did, as I'm the one who decides that.
Right.
And she stares at you a little bit too long. I'd like to show you something. Please, come with me.
Okay.
And she stands up and she begins walking towards a door.
Just shows me the door.
Yeah, get out. She opens the door and it leads out like behind whatever this building is. And out back there, you see in the dark, of course, because it's dark, there's a garden. Now, granted, there's no plant life in gardens. It's basically a garden of dead trees. It looks like it was once a garden and now is. Gardens are now more like they're built, right? You might take what's left of nature and build around it. So maybe you take a dead tree and you put decorative things on it to make it look pretty, right? But like, it is what they call gardens now. There is a garden out back. So you were taken out back to a large garden of dead trees, and you see a group of people have gathered out there to witness something. And what you see is a man is hanging from one of the trees by his neck. However, he's alive. He has not been hung yet. But the rope is taut, and he is at any moment now, within an inch, literally, of his life before he were to be killed. And the only thing keeping him alive is that he is standing, he's balancing just barely on a stack of silver coins. Just tiptoeing on them. That's the only thing keeping him from dangling off the ground and choking to death. And there are numerous other stacks of coins around him as well. And as you walk out there, Lady Drake, the judge and magistrate, looks over at you and says, "Do you know how to use a rifle?"
Whoa.
And we cut to the next person.
Oh. It's one of those clubs, huh?
People in power don't usually treat people who are not in power very well.
What do you mean, dude?
Especially in a world where that's all that matters. We now go to Zink's character, who is Wilbur Expose. You are walking towards your room, Mr. Expose. And you are led into a room where the servant, right before he opens the door, looks at you and says, "I probably shouldn't tell you this, but I feel it's only fair. You'll be meeting with Rafelio. He's eccentric." And she opens the door, and inside you see what can only be described as an artist's workshop. There are paintings on easels everywhere. Many of them are half done. Some are quite beautiful. Some look manically scribbled together. There are half finished statues. Some of them, all of them like stone marble designed to be chiseled. Sometimes one's halfway done. Another one, like you can tell just too much force went through it and an arm has been broken off or something. There are musical instruments and written poems and half assembled jewelry scattered about. And as you walk inside, there is a man who is almost completely nude, covered in paint, standing at one of the canvases as he's smearing paint onto the canvas and then stepping back and looking at it and then smears it on himself and then looks at himself and then looks in the mirror and then looks at the canvas and then like sticks his hand in some more paint and like splashes it on another one. And he looks over at you and he goes, "Ah, yes, hello, please, welcome, come inside."
I'm going to walk in, catching me off guard moment.
As you walk in, the servant behind you very quickly ducks his head and just goes, whew, and just shuts the door.
I'm gonna walk in and sort of compose myself, seeing this guy, and walk over to him. "What is that genius I smell in here, or is that just you?"
Yes, it is just me.
It is just you. Oh, I knew I could smell it from outside the door.
But I do smell because I haven't bathed in many days.
Well, again, that's just the smell of genius, isn't it?
It is. Have a seat.
It is. Have a seat. I plop right on down.
There's nowhere to sit.
I sit on some easels and stuff.
And he looks at you and goes, "No, not there. There." And he points directly where you're sitting. "No, not there. There. Right there. Sit there.
Here I am.
There. Right there. Yes. No, not there. There."
Jesus Christ.
And he turns back to the painting as he's painting on it, and he like cocks his head at an unnatural angle, like he's missing bones in his neck sideways, like he shouldn't be able to turn like that as he's painting with one hand, which is a mess, whatever he's painting. And he looks at you and he says, "Tell me, where are you from? Don't keep me waiting."
Me? Oh, well, I'm from a little bit of everywhere. I guess you could say I'm a bit. I'm a bit of a rambling man.
Ooh, I don't know anything about that.
No, you seem to have been here for a while, huh?
Yes. So, were you born here in Duskfall?
I was born under the leaf of a blowing tree.
What the fuck are leaves?
Oh, may I? And I'm gonna reach out for his paintbrush.
What do you roll to touch a crazy eccentric artist's art supplies?
Well, I'm holding my hand out.
Right, but you're trying to you're trying to get him to give it to you. So what do you roll to get him to trust you to do this?
I mean, I guess it would be sway, if anything. That's all I really have. So I'll give it a shot. Roll. Oh, I rolled a 6.
Nice.
Wow. Very good. So I'm going to go ahead and give you 2 ticks into your success clock, which is good because you already had 1 from annoying the guy up front. So you're right on track. You're doing good. And he just looks at you and goes, "Are you an artist yourself?"
Well, let's find out.
How could you know if you don't try? And he hands you the paintbrush. And as he hands it to you, he just like gets paint all over you because he's just covered in paint.
Sure.
But you're wearing squeaky leather. Yeah. So
I attempt to sketch out what a leaf looks like.
All right. And as he's staring at it, he goes, "And what do you do for coin, Mr. I wrote your name down here as Zinc. What do you do for coin, Mr.
Expose?
Mr. Expose?"
Well, I have 3 words for you. Sticks.
I'm relatively certain that's only 1 word.
Oh, it's just a little joke the Loge boys have in the biz. That's what we call ourselves in logistics, the Loge boys.
What's a Loge boy? Oh, a logistics boy. Of course, you just said it. I should have listened. Sometimes I get ahead of myself.
Well, that's why we exist, because when you get ahead of yourself and you have the bright idea of what you want to do, well, you have to make it happen somehow. And that's where the Loge boys come in.
So what do you loge about?
Oh, everything. Paint, supplies, honey, all the things.
So as he's talking to you, you paint the leaf. So you know what a leaf looks like somehow? I guess somehow someone told you that trees once had leaves on them.
Yeah, I read.
What kind of leaf is it?
Zink's is a reader. He likes to read.
Okay. What kind of leaf is it?
It's just a very no. You know what it is? It's a star leaf, Ben. That's what it is.
Okay.
It's a beautiful.
I don't know what that
star
is.
Leaf.
Delicious. The most delicious leaf in all of cinema.
In all of animated cinema.
Why is that?
He doesn't get it.
I don't get it.
From A Land Before Time.
Oh, yeah. Okay, very good. Sorry, it's been a long time since I've seen that movie. And as he's staring at it, he goes, "A leaf. There was a book I used to read once. A character in it was named Leaf. She was my favorite."
Oh, so you like the
naturally
dumb idiots, huh?
Excuse me.
I read that book too. She was a real bag of rock bones.
Nailed it.
Yes,
Wow,
that's exactly
really
how I would describe her. A bag of rock bones. I couldn't possibly think of any sicker burn to give to someone.
Well, because you, like me, are a creative man. So here we are.
Very good. Now, I have something for you.
Oh, please.
Please, sit right there. And he points again right where you are already sitting. And he reaches out for the paintbrush.
Oh, yeah, here you are.
He takes it from you and he grabs the canvas that he's working on and he just swipes it off the easel. And behind it is another canvas. And it just like crashes into the corner with a pile of other canvases that he's clearly done this before. And he looks at you and he says, "Now, I do hope perhaps I can capture you. Don't move a muscle."
I have to draw you.
And then you know what, Brian? I'm so sorry. I never had you roll anything when you were talking to your guy. That's the whole point of this. I think I just got into the role play. So let's have you roll something when you were speaking to. I think you being Bobby Boucher just completely threw me off. So what did you roll, by the way, when talking to your person in order to have them believe that you were a mushroom farmer from Severos?
God, I don't even know.
I'm gonna give you a lot of like,
because I fucking nailed Bobby Boucher. Is that why you're gonna?
I'm gonna give you like whatever you roll. If you roll something that doesn't have a bunch of dice in it, I'll give you extra dice because I don't want to just fuck you guys and be like, sorry. The only person who can do this is Lila. Sorry, I'm making you do something here. So like.
So
give me something.
I'm gonna roll survey.
Okay.
Because I gathered that based on your description of her that I wasn't going to like finesse my way out of this. So I was like, I am going to play. I didn't really get through like my full character of what I was gonna convey.
You'll have more time, don't worry.
Okay. But like I'm just gonna play just a very simple-minded, and interpret what, my family does in very basic terms, because that's all I'm going to convey. That's all I understand about it. So
okay. We'll say that like as you're talking to her, you're reading her, you're surveying her, like you're reading how she's responding to you, and you're just kind of like, how dumb can I be without her being suspicious? Right. And so, go ahead and give me a survey roll. You already got 3 points in that, so I'm just going to have you roll your standard survey. I'm going to say this is risky, though, for standard effect, because you're supposed to be making these people like you, and you're playing an idiot. But let's see what happens. Sometimes you like idiots. Sometimes it's like, he's fun.
Ooh, a 2, a 4, and a 1.
That's okay. A 4 is a mixed success. So we'll say the same thing happens as everyone else, where like she doesn't immediately just go like, I'm wasting my time with this moron. She's like, okay, well, I mean, food is a profitable business. We like money. Come with me. I want to show you something. But at the same time, she's like, God, this man is an idiot.
Perfect.
Yeah. And so there, I gave you your ticks as well. And so you now all find yourselves in your individual situations, and you're beginning to realize that this club is run by a bunch of psychopaths.